High tech. That's old tech, old folk got.
We enjoy having John work here. We're trying to address that.
I'd like to call the September 12th, 2018 County Commission meeting to order. And this meeting, of course, is to take place at a meeting we had to postpone on September 5th. I'd like to ask Commissioner Thomas if he would lead us in invocation and then followed up by the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Drew Davis.
Father God Almighty, we thank you for having all power in your hands. Father, we just thank you for this day. We thank you for watching over us as we slept and stumbled last night and woke us up this morning. We thank you for those people who are here participating in this meeting. Father, we ask that you be with us, that you give us knowledge, strength, courage, and understanding. And Father, we also ask you to allow us to do the right thing for our county. Thank you for those that are fighting in harm's way. We may exercise this very right now. And Father, we thank you too for allowing us to celebrate another day today that we've never seen before. We ask you to bless these commissioners, that we be diligent in doing things for the right way and for our county. We give you all the praise and the glory in your Son, Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the first item of business is to adopt the agenda, and I have two agenda modifications. One item to be added to item 10. Number 10B is to consider and approve the special event date for AB that we postponed because of the weather. And this is the event at Lake Grace that will actually be taking place this coming Saturday, the 14th. So that'll be one addition to the agenda. The other is to modify the agenda to put in executive session to retire to talk about some personnel issues.
Yeah, you want to be on the agenda?
Yeah, whatever y'all want to do with that.
I didn't have it on there, so.
All right, then I need to.
Yeah,
other presentations and announcements. We're going to hear for a few minutes from the IDA Director, Mr. Dale about some tax abatements for the EAM Corporation. So I'll entertain a motion to.
I'll make a motion.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Have a motion, second, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Hires,
Yes.
Commissioner McCrary,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox.
Okay. Approval of the minutes from the August 5th meeting and the call meeting on August 9th. I trust you've all had a chance to look through those. I'll entertain a motion to.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the minutes.
A second.
All right, we have a motion, second discussion. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner McCrary,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox, Commissioner Hires.
Yes. Okay, under presentations and announcements, Mr. Dale Keith, take a minute to come educate us a little bit on EAM.
I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to share a little bit about what we've been doing over at the IDA over the last 12 months. I wanted to give you guys a little update on everything that's transpired, a little bit about incentives, a little bit about what it takes to get industry into town, and how we're combating a lot of different things. Y'all are well aware, and I hear y'all preaching the same thing, that we've got to try to grow this community. And we come to work every day trying to make that happen. We're in the job of creating jobs and creating investment in our county. And I wanted to share some things with you over the last 12 months. We've had 3 expansions. Sierra, which was a $1 million investment with 15 employees. Healthy Pet was an $18 million investment with 15 employees. EAM is a $7 million. They're not not completely sure if it's gonna be 7 to 12, but, right now it sits at $7 million and, 26 employees. So on the expansion side, we've got $26 million worth of investment in our community. And we got 56 new employees. On the new company side, y'all might recall that we opened up a company called Tape It with a $1.2 million investment in the community with 40 employees. And then we finally, Chemours has come to the table and started construction on their process. And that's a $40 million investment with 60 employees. So on the new company side, we're at a little over $41 million and right at 100 employees. Both the expansion and the new companies that have come to town, we're looking at over $67 million worth of investment in our community. And that's the kind of things that we're looking for. And we're creating right at 156 jobs.
Let me, those jobs over there are not, they're skilled jobs.
Yes, they're not
High-paid jobs, they come with benefits.
That's right.
You know, they're very lucrative jobs. over
That's
there.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. You know, just the EAM facility in itself, probably average salary is $18 an hour. 26 jobs, that's $1 million a year in salary with 26 employees. So it's all moving in the right direction. We feel like we've made a lot of strides and have really been able to accomplish a few things. It's kind of difficult from my perspective because you can't get up here and talk about all these things until after the fact, so to speak, because there's a lot of confidentiality statements that you have to deal with and that kind of stuff. I also wanted to update you on the highway, what we call the industrial park south on Highway 341 down there. You know, we started the Spine Road. That should be completed within the next 60 days. Our gas line is to be completed by the 1st of December, probably the first 2 weeks in December. That's going to do wonders for us because it's going to create more value down there. It's going to give us the ability to show somebody something. Before that, we just kind of ride them down there on the dirt road and just planted trees. This is what it looks like it would be. So it's going to give us a little advantage, I think, going forward. We're closing on the first 21 acres to American Industries down there. They're taking down 21 acres, so it'll be the first company we've had in that park. We also closed on, in the next 2 weeks, we're closing on 73 acres. And what's important about that, it's all 73 acres, probably 90-something% of it's upland acres. It's something we can use. And that's going to be on the very top side of the property. It's going to take our 100-acre tract that only had 50 acres of uplands and create that to 125 acres roughly. So that's going to be beneficial to us as well. I wanted to share just a minute a little bit about the incentives. As you guys know, incentives play a big part in this business. If you're going to try to get somebody to expand or bring a new company into town, every one of these companies out there are looking for what you can do for them. And I think we've been fairly conservative, and I think we've been fairly diligent about our taxpayer money. We've made some deals, and some of them are as simple as the Healthy Pet expansion. All it cost us was you guys at the county helping us put in a culvert pipe and some dirt right there to get to the Macon Street is all it cost. The Tape It company, we ended up making a $75,000 loan to them for a piece of equipment for 4 years. And the way that works is they provide the 40 jobs, and they have a year to do that. And then the next 3 years, you have a $25,000 credit if they maintain those 40 jobs. If they don't maintain those 40 jobs, then there's a clawback clause in there that makes them have to pay us back the money that we loaned them. So that was the only thing we had to do for those guys.
Until they ultimately own the whole thing.
That's right.
Controls.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then out at Sierra, I don't know whether you guys are familiar with this, but Sierra is expanding out there as well. What we did for them is they asked us for 100 feet on, I think it's Yellowwood Road, and right next to them where they did their expansion so they could get their big trucks around there. And if you took the 100 feet and went all the way to the back of the property, it's 2.3 acres. So what we did was we just deeded them over the 100 feet so that they would have the ability to put the asphalt in there and make a turnaround all the way around the building. And that's all we had to do for them. And then the last one is the EAM. You guys were nice enough to help us put the field dirt in the property. The field dirt ended up costing us $56,800. That was 750 loads, and we paid for that back to you guys. And so it didn't come out of the county coffers. And then we negotiated for a little over a year with an abatement schedule, and we finalized on one that's based on $7 million investment. They think they're going to do 12, but we were not willing to go to 12. We told them we needed to stay at 7. We only did the abatement for 5 years. And what that means is the first year they would get 100% tax abatement. The second year they would pay 20% of what their bill would be. The third year, 40, 60, 80, and by year 6 they're paying 100%. So that's one of the things we did to try to encourage them, because it became somewhat testy. They were at one time talking about moving it to North Carolina. They already had a building in North Carolina. They didn't have to build one, but they wanted something in return for them making the $7 million investment with us. The only other thing I have on here is to tell you that we have identified a piece of property. I know we talked in a joint session with the city about roads in the future. We are negotiating right now to put our stake in the ground for a new industrial park here in Jessup. And that's going to be probably, to begin with, around 300 acres, and then with an option on another 500 acres. We need that. We're running out of what we consider product is having buildable sites. Right now we've only got a couple right there on Sunset Boulevard. One's 25 acres and one's 33 acres across from Billy Popple's subdivision entrance right there. So this is something we've been needing to do and really need to step forward with. And we would be purchasing and doing all that stuff out of the money we've been saving up for the last several years. Any questions?
I don't have a question, but I would like to commend Director Keith, you and the IDA, because for so long, when you don't see a new industry coming in or new ground being broken, it appears that things are dormant in the county. And what people don't understand is it's just as tough to get successful industry to maintain that success and retain the employees that they've got in the county as it is to get new industry. So I want to commend you that y'all, I think you're doing a superb job, and that shows just with the ribbon cuttings we get to see and hear on the street. Like my son got a job at this expansion.
Right.
It's awesome to hear.
Right.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And also the ones that you get have a small footprint. I like that.
That's right.
People in the county like that.
That's right.
You know, the greener they go, the better it is, and the less flack we
Yeah.
catch.
Yeah, and we've kind of taken that direction at the IDA. It would be nice to try to get a 300 or 400 employee company to town, but the facts of the matter are, with an unemployment rate of 4.6, 4.7, that's not but about 500 people. Probably 3/4 of those can't pass a drug test, so now you're down to 100 and something people. So it would be difficult for us to do that. So we've kind of tried to target those companies that are in that 50 to 100 range, and then it also gives us the opportunity to be a little conservative and make sure that we're doing the right kind of industries when everybody's concerned in the county.
It's big time down there in Mount Pleasant.
Yeah.
That's big time.
Yeah, it's gonna be real beneficial to us, I think. It's gonna pay off in the long run.
That area's gonna grow, guys.
Yeah, it is.
It's gonna grow.
And
Yeah,
if you don't build it, they can't come.
Right.
That's,
Yeah, if you notice, you said Mount Pleasant is growing. They've started building in that subdivision. But I also concur with what they're saying is that the industrial authority is a lifeline for Wayne County, considering the fact that so much has been, money has been taken from us, from Atlanta, that the only way we're going to be able to sustain is create new industry, bring new industry. We're not going to be able to do it any other way.
Yeah.
And even so far, the 33 acres that you have across from Billy Popple subdivision, I don't don't know about that, because that subdivision may not let you build anything there, judging from the past.
Oh, yeah, there's challenges. There's gonna be
So-
challenges.
But again, too, it is, as we talked to you about the T-Splosh projects, and we laid them out, we've had a lot of interaction in developing that over there, and the economic development is key. That digest don't grow without that, and, you know, the key to us being successful is grow that digest, from our perspective over there. But all that's key, your land, all this.
That's right.
Sunset Boulevard, if you notice, is being traveled, and as Dale has mentioned over there, he's running out of space, and all these industries, they like us, and they're growing, they're expanding, but that brings, service delivery problems here, and we got to plan for it before it becomes a crisis. And I appreciate the commissioners and Dale and the board of IDA for working with us and realizing.
We appreciate what you guys do. I have not called the first time and not been helped with any issue, and I appreciate that. I appreciate what you do.
Thank you very
And I'll get with you, or Miss Candy in the very near future and get on the agenda and express the same thing to the rest of the IDA, to the IDA members.
Good. That'd be great.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Under citizens' concerns, we have none. Public meetings, I'll just again remind you of the 27th of September for the SDS. Consent agenda, we have none. Old business, we'll consider and approve the nationwide plan update, which we were briefed on in the work session.
Can I back up? I don't think Ms. Davis was here during the work session. We talked about that. This is a work session on the 27th at 10 o'clock at the depot. It will be broadcast over there. It's for service delivery strategy talks. I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Motion.
Yeah.
Ralph.
Sir?
Do we need to vote on that abatement, or is that?
No, sir. No, sir. That abatement just needs to be brought to our attention, and the approvals on it will be handled between the IDA and the Board of Assessors and the Chief Assessor. Okay? Under the old business, again, we need to approve the nationwide plan update that we were briefed on between the two options. And based on information that we were provided by some of the employees, I'm going to make a motion that we adopt option 2.
Second.
A motion is second. Any discussion? Okay, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox,
Yes.
Commissioner Hires,
Yes.
Commissioner McCreary.
Yes.
Under new business, we consider and possibly approve the sale or sell it right away?
What, 10B, where you added?
Yes, I apologize. I left my own note out. At a prior meeting, we had approved a special event for Mr. A.B. from Alex's to have a Labor Day get-together at Lake Grace. And that function was postponed because of the weather. And we just need to approve that he will be having that same event under the same umbrella of requirements on this coming Saturday the 14th. So I'll entertain a motion to approve that date for Mr. A.B.'s function at Lake Grace.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second that. Have a motion, second, any discussion? Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox,
Yes.
Commissioner Hires,
Yes.
Commissioner McCreary,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts.
Yes.
Okay, now under new business. Consider and approve the sale of right-of-way to DOT for a bridge replacement at Highway 169 at Goose Creek.
That's right, Mr. Chairman, if I may, the DOT is planning on replacing the bridge at Goose Creek on Highway 169. It's a DOT project over there. They're requiring extra right-of-way based on their estimates, and you see it in here, that they're offering us $1,900. I think that's a fair price over there. You have all the documentation. It's not a large part of land over there. while we used over there, they gave, they looked at appraisals and all other documentation over there, but it needs to be approved by y'all for them to proceed on with that bridge replacement.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve that sale of that right away.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
We have a motion second, and under discussion. When might this replacement take place? And, you know,
I think it's probably slated for next year. You know, this is just in the preliminary stages, and they've got engineering, preliminary stuff over there, so it takes, I think it's slated for next year, but, I don't have an exact schedule on that.
all right, Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Hickox?
Yes.
Commissioner Myers?
Yes.
Commissioner McCrary?
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts?
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Item B, appoint a 2020 complete count committee member, members.
Members, and, you know, we talked about this, we had a presentation from, last month, about it. You know, we got an internal, committee that's been trained over there, that Chris Griffiths has went through the previous census, but we need to appoint, community involvement in this thing. It's important that we get this census right, and so I think we're gonna get a lot of help from a lot of people. But churches and civic organization, leadership wing, anything like that, that we get to, you know, get that information out. But I would like to put Chris Griffiths, Sharon Corson, and Tammy Robertson, as they've been to the training, and with Chris a little bit, not a lot, you know, but they went to a little bit of it, and like continue on with that. It'll be in our core group, but commissioners, I'd like to add, y'all need to add some people to this thing. It's important.
How many is optimum for us to?
The more the merrier, I believe. I mean, we got a big county, and I would say the cities need to be involved in this thing too.
How about this? How about if we entertain those three and start with them, and then reach out to the cities of Scriven and Odom and Jessup for some suggestions on
There's,
folks from theirs?
And how much training do they have to have?
there's a whole lot of training to it. It's more of a community thing. We had a presentation last month over there where you do web-based, you just fill out census form. So I don't know how many hours. I don't think it's a whole lot. It may be just a couple of hours or one or two classes to go to, or afternoon sessions over there. But it's we're gonna get a lot of help from it. But from the county standpoint, I want Chris and, you know, and Sharon and Tammy to be involved in this thing. But I don't think it'll be a lot of training at all, Commissioner.
Let's find that out, and if it's okay with y'all, what I'll do is, I'll make a motion to start the group out with those three as county representatives, and then we'll add as the other entities.
Remember, they paying good money to people to go in there and do some things too. Now, this ain't paying no money.
We're not paying out.
We ain't paying out no money.
I second it. Okay. Did you get?
How long will the census last?
That's a good question. I don't know how long it takes to do it.
I don't know when the drop dead date is up there, but it happens next year. And I don't know if it runs 3 months or all year long over there, Commissioner, but I'll find out some more details about that.
Okay.
Okay, man, I make a motion to go ahead and appoint those three and reach out to the cities and the other entities, and Commissioner McCreary seconded that. Do we have any more discussion? All right.
And I'll get back to y'all on training and the time frame.
Okay. All right, roll please.
Commissioner Hires?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner McCrary?
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts?
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox?
Yes.
Okay, now we need to consider approve a resolution for the creation of a 2020 complete county committee.
Need a motion?
Yes,
I move to create a committee, 2020 count committee.
and these three will serve on that committee. These three will be the beginning of the commission serving on that committee. Makes sense? I'll second that.
We probably should have it reversed.
Yeah, but that's okay. Do you want to
Hickox, what?
Did I say, or did you hear me?
Ralph, did you hear, Herschel?
Commissioner Hickox, we need to pass a resolution creating this committee that will consist of those three we mentioned and any other individuals that the other entities add. And, I made a motion to create that committee.
Somebody seconded it.
Yeah.
I did. I mean,
Kevin did.
Kevin.
So we're in a discussion. You wanna talk about it any?
No, I'm not here.
Okay. Would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner McCreary,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
yes,
Commissioner Hickox,
Yes.
Commissioner Myers.
Yes.
All right, now, you're talking about the resolution. Commissioner Thomas motioned and you seconded. Okay.
Okay.
Items D and E, Commissioner, Mr. Chairman, I think, the county attorney and I discussed the property on South Macon Street, and I got another property I want to add to it, and so, we could combine both of these. What we want to do is basically re-bid or re-solicit.
Can I back up?
Yes, sir, go ahead.
So just so y'all know, and everything's out there, county clerk let me know that we didn't receive any bids on the South Macon Street property. So one of the things that you may want to consider, I don't know, is lowering the minimum bid on that property. I know a couple of commissioners have kind of approached me about putting some conditions on there that require the purchaser of that or the high bidder on that to clean up the property within a few months' time, because I think in the neighborhood that it's in, there's been some complaints about it, and just the overall look of the house and in that community is not real well. So I can work on that. I don't know if y'all want to keep the minimum price the same, being we just bid it out and didn't receive any bids.
If I can interject, I think one of the reasons we didn't receive it,
I don't believe the drop it, I think that.
Repeat that, please.
I don't believe the drop it, I would pay that.
well, what I was saying was, I think one of the reasons we received no bids is because we actually postponed the meeting and closed the county offices because of the storm. I believe we need to leave that bid minimum as
I
it
got a
is and
couple
resolicit.
of calls about that as well, that
Yeah.
one people wanted to bid and then it's closed. So.
Yeah, so I think we need to resolicit it with the caveat of cleaning up that lot within a certain time frame and accept new bids based on that.
And my next question,
I absolutely agree with that, in my district, and it's a terrible condition, and I definitely want that to be part of this, because they have like 30 days or something to get at least safe.
well, I think we can work on that language. I don't know if I can put that exact condition in there, but we can probably add some caveats to that. My next question though is, today is the 12th. By law, I'm required to, I believe, advertise it for at least 15 days prior to the next meeting. So the earliest I could get it in the paper would be the 18th. Do y'all want to extend this one out to possibly the November meeting when we unseal the bid, since we're doing two properties, or do y'all want to try to, I mean, because the shorter advertising span you have, the less people might see that are, that's up to y'all. Y'all just tell me.
I found that.
I think November 1st,
November 1st.
or what the first meeting.
Commissioner Hickox, you wanna make a motion that we resolicit and accept those bids at the November 5th meeting?
Yeah, I make a motion, we can move it to the November meeting, and I would like that caveat in there, because like it is in my district, it is in a bad shape, and I like to do it wherever I don't want the county to give it out there and then turn around and be not only an eyesore, but something dangerous, something I can in my district.
Okay. I'll second that motion.
Well, that was for item E now.
And what about the new property?
Let's go ahead and get this discussion on board and call the roll on this one.
This is for E.
All right. Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox,
Yes.
Commissioner Hires,
Yes.
Commissioner McCreary.
Yes.
All right. So on item E,
D.
D.
we'll back up, I'm sorry.
Okay.
If you don't mind over here. And guys, I had a list, y'all had of it, I just picked it. I know that, the commissioner, the tax commissioner emailed me a couple of weeks back, saying that somebody was interested in this piece of property. I know somebody else was interested in it. This property is parcel number J7-13. It is on Robinson Drive, 668. I think that's in your district, Mr. Thomas.
Yes, sir.
And it's been on the list over there. It had an assessed value of a little over 34 grand, and I don't know how old that assessed value is, or that assessment is. Minimum bid from the commissioner is $6,020.19. So I would like to entertain that, putting out that one on the sale list for, in the same time frame, Mr. Bigler, right?
Well, I've got some questions, and here's my only concern about that is on your sheet that you handed me, I see where the foreclosure dates were September 19th, 26, October 3rd and 10th of 2018. If that property, so today is September the 12th of 2019, we're supposed to wait a year after it's foreclosed upon before we can close the right of redemption, before we can actually put the property up for sale. If the right of redemption was September 1926, that we'd be able to sell it. I just want to say that though.
All right, well,
We need to check into that.
to verify that, you verify, but if it's verified over there, that we like to proceed on that. I think all of them were ours to sell. All of them came off this list that we had to sell.
So we need to determine the,
He just wants to verify that, if it's verified that.
Yeah, we still need a price though, if y'all want to go forward with it, we can.
This is on the. It all came from the same list we've been working on for a while.
how much taxes are owed on it, Glenn?
$6,020.19.
And legal fees?
$6,020.19. That came from the.
That's total.
That's total. That's interest, penalties. I don't know about legal fees, but ain't a whole lot.
So, you said the minimum bid is 6,000?
I would say if we don't know if it has, well, that's your district, you better know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean,
This is off 4th Street,
yeah,
there in the
Robinson Drive subdivision is, we've got a couple of vacant houses there. One of them, the roof is falling in on it. I don't know if it's that one or not, but.
What do you say we set them at $6,500 to cover any legal fees?
That's right.
I have it here.
That's right. Set the minimum bid lower than the. I thought, you wanna go lower than that? 6,000?
65.
No, it's
65. I thought you said 55.
No, you wanna go up?
65.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah. You need a motion on that? I'll make that motion.
Second.
All right, in case Mr. Hickox, in case you didn't hear that, we've set the minimum bid for the property on Robinson Drive at $6,500 to cover back taxes and legal fees.
Yeah.
All right, okay, clerk, you call the roll.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox?
Yes.
Commissioner Myers?
Yes.
Commissioner McCreary?
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts?
Yes.
And again, commissioners, this is contingent on Mr. Bieber following through and making sure that the foreclosure is done.
Yeah, I think whoever did this probably meant to put redemption date was those dates, not the foreclosure date. So
Yeah,
it's
this,
probably-
all right, this is, and we won't just verify, it's the same list we've been working off of.
Okay, under item 12, appointments for the hospital authority, District 5 Pat Perry, we tabled that from June 3rd. Commissioner Hickox, have you got a couple of additional names yet?
No, I'm going to have to talk about the next one, Chairman.
Okay. All right, we'll just continue to table it. for the administrator?
Commissioners, I don't have but a couple of items, and really they all revolved around EMS and EMA. And I just want to thank everybody involved, and I know that the Board of Commissioners were heavily involved in, you know, getting us through Doran. We missed a bullet, and you know, thankful for that. But I thought everybody in the community came out and supported that, especially during the long holiday weekend. A lot of hours were put in by the EMA people over there, and they did a good job. We got another depression coming through. It's coming right up. It looks like it's going to turn to the east right there at Folkestone. But Richard Johnson's going to get an update along with Sharon in the morning at 8 o'clock, and he'll broadcast that out just like he did before over there. So, you know, again, guys, we commend that. Secondly, EMS has moved into their new building. They spent the first night last night, and they're all happy, very excited over there. If you want to drive by and see them, I'm sure they'll show it around, but it's a working and sleeping facility right now, and they're still in the process of moving over. You know, we'll get out of the old building and make sure it's cleaned up, and I have an inspection of that, and before we turn the keys back over to the city. But you know, I'm thankful we're in there. You know, we probably have some bugs and punch lists to go through over there, but we're in that. We're functioning out of it right now, and you know, I'd encourage y'all to go by and visit, and we'll have an open house some later date.
Okay. Commissioner Hickox?
Well, moving on, I have nothing.
Is that being recorded?
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts?
Say, cruddy way you know.
Ralph Hardy. I just want to give people some thanks. I mean, so proud of Amanda for going through all her tests, all her credits, and getting everything she had done. She's got a nice plaque, and I'm sure we'll take her picture tonight, but she's done a really good job. She's coming up on the list, and around there she's done great. And I want to thank Amanda and the girls and Ed for coming through the audit. You know, if you can get by a GBI audit, you've done pretty darn good, because they don't cut you any slack. I really appreciate what they've done, and all three of our buildings look great. I don't know if you've been to see them. I went to see two of them this past week over in the recreation department, and over they look good, really good. The outside's dressed up. They look nice. They came in pretty close to their budgets, and, you know, and I really appreciate what they've done. And they were all ready just to come in. Sheriff Carter, y'all were ready. All the guys were staged. D-Ray had everybody going good. We were on the ball. I mean, there's nobody could say y'all let us down, because we were on the ball, and y'all were on the ball, and we appreciate what you've done. I just want to say a big thank you to all you folks that's been under the gun and came out from under the gun.
Commissioner Thomas?
I want to concur with what he said. Just congratulations to everybody involved with EMA and our manager and all the office ladies, all of the stress that we've been under for the last several months, come out unscathed, and everything looks good. So I just commend everybody for that. I'm glad that now we can move forward on concentrating on whatever's good for Wayne County.
Okay.
I know I heard some complaints about early preparation and things like that for the storm, but I think y'all did your job. You protect and serve. You got us ready for it. If it had turned, I know Donnie Ray had said several times that it's the game of miles, and Richard said the same thing. Had it come 40 miles in, it could have been catastrophic. So I'd rather be prepared than not be prepared, and I thank y'all for all the information you gave us, to keep us updated, so when people call us, we can give them knowledgeable information on what we need to do and when we need to do it. That's it.
Okay. First thing I'd like to do is commend our clerk, Ms. Amanda Hanna, on her successful accomplishments of achieving her master's. And I'm going to read you a short press release that will also be in commendation of her. On September 9th, 2019, Wayne County Clerk Amanda Hanna was honored for her completion of the Georgia Clerks Education Institute's Master's Education and Management Development Program. This program is a 60-hour curriculum developed in cooperation with the University of Georgia Carl Vinson Institute of Government, the Georgia Municipal Clerks Association, and the Georgia County Clerks Association. The classes are taught by Institute of Government instructional faculty, and upon completion of the coursework, participants must complete a project and reflection paper to earn a certificate. The program provides an opportunity for certified city and county clerks to continue supervisory management, development, and professional growth. And I want to commend you, and also mention that Ms. Hanna is also the secretary of the Georgia Clerks Association, and she is well on her way to moving up to vice president and then president. And I think that says a lot for this little community. We're going to achieve this, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot more out of it with the way she handles it. And apparently the State Clerks Association thinks an awful lot of her. Congratulations. And if you will, let's get down here and present you with this plaque.
Mr. Chairman, I go all across the state, everybody knows the man, and everybody speaks well of him.
Good.
Listen,
You want? How we gonna do this?
why don't you move the whole project?
Yeah, move the whole thing out of the way.
Yeah, move the whole project.
Y'all want to all come around, or you want to?
No,
just
go
go
ahead.
out? Okay, all right. Miss Anna, congratulations.
Thank you.
Can you angle that a little against the...
The sun.
That's
the
perfect,
light.
that's perfect. Hold it right there. You get one more.
Thank you.
That's good, right?
You got to do that release form?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Is it okay if I give Drew this?
Yeah, that's fine.
You know.
We'll make a copy, we'll make a copy, give both of them. Or three of them.
Mine's recorded.
Yes, please.
Okay, but we're going to need to retire to executive session to discuss the personnel. Before we do, I want to also commend Mr. Jeffers, Ms. Hanna, and the other young ladies in the office for what they've been through and the professionalism that they have upheld while going through our ACCG inquiry, a successful audit, and a non-eventful GBI investigation. Thank you all. All right.
Can I
I'll
say-
entertain a motion that
For the media there, and I think Commissioner Roberts alluded to it, Recreation's moved into their new offices as well, so we're moved into both places. We'll have an open house. He's not quite through with the Recreation offices over there, but we moved in there. Joe Irati, just for your information, gave me a note that I don't think the diversity, Commissioner Hickox, if you hear me, they got that grant this year, but they're still working on other mechanisms to fund that diversity center thing. So
But that building is now available for them
The
to move
building-
forward with.
I haven't inspected it. I want to inspect it before I get to give it to Joe to go ahead, but it's still plans are for them to utilize that, yes.
All right, I'll entertain a motion, we go into executive session to discuss personnel.
I so moved into executive session to discuss personnel.
I'll second that. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hickox,
Yes.
Commissioner Hires,
Yes.
Commissioner McCreary,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts. Commissioner Thomas.
Yes.
We will return.